Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of The Source. Continuing on with NFL Week 5, the New York Jets and red-hot Zach Wilson, something I thought I'd never say. They're on the road in Mile High to play the Broncos. Denver laying 2.5 at home. Total sitting at 43.5. Let's go.
Welcome to The Source. The Source. Source. Hey, get the Source.
So the line's kind of been bouncing around at this one. It was at 2, then it was at 1.5, then back at 2. Now it's at 2.5. We got a serious pros versus public setup. Public's all over the Jets as dogs. Sharp action definitely on the Denver Broncos. Well, the Broncos probably have the Bears defense and some late Justin Fields mistakes to thank for it, but they did grab their first win of the season last week to move to 1-3. Positive takeaway from that game would be the Broncos offense looked good. 6 of 11 on third downs, no turnovers, just 1 sack allowed. Russell Wilson was truly good as hell. 21 of 28, 223 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a 133 passer rating. That was his highest passer rating in any game since joining the Denver Broncos. And honestly, it's not really getting talked about because the Broncos are just 1-3. They finally got a win. But Russell Wilson's having himself a good season. Last year with the Broncos, he made 15 starts. He had a passer rating above 105 in just 2 of them. This year, through 4 games, he's got a passer rating above 105 in 3 already. Last year, the Denver offense was 28th in DVOA, 26th passing, 24th rushing, 32nd, dead last in third downs. This year, through 4 games, 13th, 15th, 15th, and 15th. I know Sean Payton's taking a lot of heat right now, and some of it's probably deserved, but no question, that Broncos offense has already seen a huge improvement from last season. Pass protection is definitely still an issue for the Broncos, though. They're 23rd in adjusted sack rate, 25th in pressure rate. Actually, those numbers are slightly up from where they were last year, but still not good. But the thing is, Jets don't have much of a pass rush. Jets so far this season, 25th in adjusted sack rate, 22nd in pressure rate. Last year, the Jets were top 10 in both those categories. It's crazy to say because this is such a mismatch last year, but based on the numbers we have from this season and what we've seen this year, the Jets pass rush versus the Broncos pass protection, it's kind of an even matchup. In fact, the Jets defense as a whole looks like a shell of what it was last year. They were 5th in overall defensive DVOA last season, 4th against the pass, 10th on third down. But this year, 19th, 22nd, and 28th in those categories. Secondary is still great. This is not on the secondary. That Jets defensive front 7 has underperformed this season. Speaking of the Jets secondary, they're going to be without their star corner DJ Reed in this one, and it gets worse because the guy who'd be seeing a lot of snaps in DJ Reed's spot, Brandon Echols, he's also hurt. He won't be active in this game. So the Jets are very thin at corner right now. They might only have 4 active corners on the entire roster. They're going to have to make a move or 2. But the truth is, even without a pass rush and even with the injuries at corner, the Jets secondary is still equipped to give Russell Wilson problems. Jets defense may not be what it was last year, but they're still 2nd in DVOA against the deep pass. They've still defended the deep ball very well, which directly negates what Russell Wilson has done for years. On the season, Russell Wilson is 1st in yards per attempt, 6th in completion percentage, and 3rd in passer rating on pass attempts of 20 plus yards. Russell Wilson loves throwing the deep ball. And another thing, we can't just ignore the level of competition Russell Wilson has seen so far in terms of pass defenses. Bears, Dolphins, Raiders, Commanders. Those teams' pass defense ranks 31st, 26th, 23rd, 28th. So it does kind of resemble a bit of a sell high spot as far as the Broncos' passing offense goes. But what about the Broncos' run game? Now, if this was last year, we wouldn't even talk about it. We just straight up be like, no shot, the Broncos are running the ball on the Jets' defense. But this season, Jets are getting run on a little bit. In the last 2 games, the Jets have allowed 361 yards on the ground on 75 carries. That's 4.81 yards per carry. Javonte Williams is back and practicing, and that rookie Jaleel McLaughlin looked explosive as hell last week, 7.1 yards per carry. We might see the Broncos run the ball a little bit on the Jets. Now, on the other side of the ball, I have no idea how to get a read here. You ready for this? Check this out. Last year, heading into week 14, so through 13 weeks last season, the Denver Broncos were 2nd in the NFL, allowing just 17 points per game. They were 3rd in the NFL, allowing just 304.5 yards per game. 2nd in the NFL, allowing 203 pass yards per game. Arguably one of the best defenses in the NFL heading into week 14 last season. Since that moment, the Broncos have played 9 games. They're allowing 33.9 points per game. That's dead last in the league. 403.4 yards per game. That's 31st in the league. 287.9 pass yards per game. That's dead last in the league. The Broncos literally went from arguably the best defense in the NFL heading into week 14 last year to being the worst defense in the NFL since. And to make things even more confusing, now they're matched up against the Jets. And if this was 1 week ago, I'd say finally, an offense Denver can make stops on. Denver's defensive front has been so bad, but the Jets' offensive line has been even worse, or maybe not even worse, but just as bad. Finally, the Broncos can make some stops. But then the Jets' offensive line on Sunday Night Football goes out there and completely neutralizes Chris Jones and the Chiefs' pass rush, one of the best in the game. Well, usually is, not really this year. And Zach Wilson plays the game of his career on Sunday Night Football. So what the hell are we supposed to do with that data? I'm not even going to give myself the headache of trying to figure out how that happened. Now, is there a chance this is the new Zach Wilson and the Jets offense has started clicking and he's going to show us another great performance against a bad Denver defense? Yeah, but I'm willing to bet against it. If we take a step back and really look at this, we're getting Zach Wilson priced as a decent quarterback after good performance, but he's getting priced as a decent quarterback after one game. The Broncos offense is undervalued, the Jets defense is overvalued, so at a short line at home at 2.5, with the public on the Jets, you gotta say Denver feels like the right spot to be. So I'm on Denver. Give me the Broncos minus 2.5. I'm willing to fade Zach Wilson. Prove it to me. If you want my top bets, parlays of the day, if you want to join our Discord, or if you want to get in on the NFL Against the Spread giveaway contest, head over to KyleKirms.com. The information's right there on the homepage. NFL Week 5. Another football Sundays here. Remember to bet responsibly. Let's have ourselves a good weekend, and I'll talk to you in the Discord.